Hey, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of What Else Is Going On. Now, if you are watching on YouTube, you already know this beautiful face that is in front of me, this beautiful face that we all fell in love with about 2 or 3 years ago. If you're listening, you had to know that beautiful laugh. I am talking to a powerhouse, beautiful Black woman that I love seeing on my screen every week. She truly is an inspiration, not just from everything that she shared, what she went through, but just with her life, her transparency, and her openness. Y'all, What Else Is Going On podcast has been Guerdyfied because I have Guerdy.
Thank you for having me. I see you all the time on my screen on my search Explorer page. So I know who you be, girl.
Let me tell you, it's so funny because, you watch these shows or you watch people, and even though you don't know, right, we don't know you, but there is something that feels like connects you specifically to some of them. So when I saw you, I was like, that's my girl. That's my girl.
Really?
Yes.
I usually don't get that narrative. Most people are like, wow, you're different. Why are you speaking with an accent and all that stuff? So very interesting, but I appreciate it. Thank you for being open to all of this.
Listen, I think because so often, I remember for me growing up, it was talk too fast, or you're too inquisitive, or you're too much. And for me, watching a woman who looks like me, being confident and walking in who she is and not letting people, no, I can say what I want and I can talk as much as I want. So I resonated with that. So that's an example.
Oh my God. Okay. That warms my heart. Honestly, I'm getting chills because it's hard out here. It's kind of like, you're different. Okay. So what's the big idea? Get into it type of thing. You're big lot, you're lost if you don't want to get to know me type of thing. I know I'm a lot, but I promise you the heart is there and it's pure and it's all good vibes only,
Oh, it's definitely good vibes. So I have now, and I have to admit this. So I had prepared, you do, for me, I love to interview, right? So I like to do my research and listen to people on other podcasts because you don't want it to be the same across the board, right?
Right.
So I'm watching you, Miss Guerdy, on Carlos King's podcast, and he asked you some questions, and then you gave him answer, and I'm screaming, don't answer, Guerdy, because I'm asking you.
Oh, no. We're going to make it your own. Trust me. I always got a different answer sometimes. Anyway.
But I loved you on the episode. You were looking good, everything. So like I said, some people will say they're a fan, but I'm truly a fan of yours. And I am glad that you're here. So I'm going to jump right into some things that I wanted to know about you. I like to talk to either the housewife or whoever's on. I want to get to know you outside of what we see on the screen because you guys are living, thinking, breathing people. And I think the audience can forget that sometimes, that y'all are real too. You have real lives, real families.
Yeah, we don't go on pause because the season's over. Our life happens, it stays on,
Right. And I love that the Guerdy that I see from what I know during the season is the same Guerdy across the board out of season. So I don't feel like I'm watching a character.
Oh my God, 100%. It's me across. I don't think I have it in me to be fake like that. I mean, sometimes when you go into a professional space, you do speak more slower and you know how to, but that's called being a chameleon and knowing your space and reading the room. It's not like, oh my God, she does this now and she does this then. And it's not, it's layers to people, honey, like an onion or a flower. Got layers.
That sweet onion, yes. And if you cut too deep, I will make you cry. Okay.
Thank you. I love that. Ooh, I'm stealing that one. Okay. I'm so nice until I'm not.
Yes. Until you're crying. There we go.
Yep.
So we're in the year 2024. As of 2021, not too long ago, 62.11% of wedding designers were white, 16.54% were Hispanic Latina, and only 10.4% were Black or African American. And event planning statistics are about the same. So even event planners, pretty much the same across the board. So you walking through life as a Black woman, you learn how to navigate spaces and places where people don't necessarily look like you, and they may not even value your input. We know that, right? So I believe that there's a certain something that you possess that we have to possess to allow us to break in these circles. When you were 1 year old, your parents relocated from Haiti to Paris, and you were there until you were 9. So you were 8 years in Paris as a young Haitian girl. So those are the early formative years of your life. Do you remember exactly when you recognized or understood the cultural differences? And do you think once you understood it or once you felt it, it left an imprint for how you would navigate the rest of your life up to this point?
100%. First of all, I grew up in a very competitive family, in a sense of like, we have to be the best, right?
Okay.
And so you take a 1-year-old to France who doesn't even speak the language, and now it's like, how am I going to be the best when I can't even communicate at my best level with everyone?
Right.
So I'm like the little engine that could and that will and that does. You know, I deliver in everything that I do because I didn't have any other option. So growing up, the first thing my mom told us girls were, "You're diamonds. You don't break. No one's going to break you. You can cry, you can, fall and, whatever and falter, but you will never break and you can go on." So for me, in a very small age, I already knew that resilience, and that's Haitian people by nature, we have to be resilient. If you see what's happening in Haiti, the people who are surviving are resilient in whatever way and capacity and resources that they have around them. So when you have that in you, you just keep going until you reach your highest level. And so I think that growing up in France, I think, was actually probably the toughest place because, there's a je ne sais quoi in France and a swag about French people that is very arrogant. It's it's very showy, and it's very kind of judgmental in the sense of like, who are you and what do you do type of thing. So I think I learned a long time ago to show up and be able to back up what I'm selling in a sense. And that was really, truly, I think, the best example and experience of my life, because in France there's so many cultures, so it's really Miami on steroids in a way. So I was able to see and live. My neighbor was Arab, my other neighbor was African, my other one was a true French woman. So there's just so many different cultures around me that I was able to really understand that there's more to this world than just people like me, and I had an appreciation for that. And also I knew who I was. That was number one. And because of that, I knew that I always had to show up, and always knew that I was representing not only me, but my entire family. So one thing that, when you walk into a room, it's all visual. So the first thing that my mother also taught us was, you dress how you want to be addressed. To me, 100%, it's important. No matter what anybody tells you, you want to walk into jeans to a wedding, that's on you. People are going to look at you funny, and don't ask why. So you have to respect the invitation. You have to you show up, respect yourself. Yes. So self-respect is really at the core of it all. And because of that, I walk into the room like I am the party starting now, because I am here and I am as important as anybody. So I tunnel vision myself to know and think that I'm going to put color second, and I'm not going to walk into a room saying, "Oh my God, they're looking at me easy because I'm Black." Got you. Because that's their problem. That's not my problem. Because once I'm able to back up what I'm selling, so this means me walking to a room with a client. Most of my clients, when I was doing weddings steadily, were almost all Jewish. I was called Rabbi Guerdy, and I'm like, I'm not Jewish, I'm Black, and I'm like, what's happening here? But you know what? I made that my niche market, in the sense of like, I'm going to embrace the fact that they're now looking to me to tell them about their own culture, and that was actually a great way for me to stand out amongst other planners. So even the Jewish wedding planners, for example, they were kind of like looking at me like, how is she getting my business? Because I could back it up, so that's just something that so I do all kinds of weddings, Indian weddings, African-American weddings, all types of amazing weddings. But I just, I got into a niche market geographically with my New York clients, that it just became this thing. And it's a very unique situation, but it is what it is. And I'm proud of myself to be able to show up as myself, and being able to translate what their needs were for their culture, for their thing, and be a beacon of inspiration for that. So crazy world, but that's what happened to me and my story, and it really shows people. I think it's an example to say, if she could do it, I can do anything in whatever space you want to be in. So you want to be an astronaut, you're going to be an astronaut. It's on you to do the work and the due diligence, keep your head down, do the work, back it up, and then you can do it, And
have the tunnel vision, like you said. Two things that I definitely love. You said you knew because of who you were, your skin color, you knew that you had to show and tell. So you couldn't just talk the talk, especially being in France. You had to walk the walk. And then you said, even though you knew who you were, you knew what you looked like, and you knew you had to show up. Then you made it's not about me. If when I walk into a room and they're looking at me because I'm Black, I'm not going to let that stop me or let them see even if you do feel a certain type of way, because that's on them.
But you know, I mean, listen, as a Black society altogether, we have secondary pressure. It's not just kind of like, oh, you know, this is my world and everyone's, you know, you can't live in a bubble, because on top of being Black, then comes the cultural differences, right? So then now it's like, what kind of Black are you? So we have to talk about this. And this is the first time I'm actually talking about it with you. So you're getting new content here.
Thank you.
But, you know, my thing is kind of like, okay, so then it's like, okay, I come into the US. Remember, at age 9, I come to the US. Now it's kind of like, okay, so you're Black like all of us, but where are you from? I hear an accent. Where are you from? Now it's categorically, culturally, are you Jamaican? Are you Bahamian? Are you, you know, African? Or are you Haitian? So then in those days when I came to the US, it was like the late 80s. And there was a stigma about Haitian people that people, you know, spun in like we were these kind of freak people in a sense, you know, so there was a lot of, I would say, you know, bad messaging about us and our culture. And it was kind of hard because I came in not speaking English at this point. So now I came from not speaking French. Now I come here trying to speak a different language. And I'm 9, this tall, I'm 5'8" with 2 pigtails and a church dress because my father didn't want us to wear pants because he was a pastor and conservative. So I'm like now this freak walking around like a giraffe in school and being made fun of. And then, you know, people used to get beat up because they were Haitian and so forth. So it was so much that I went through that I stand so proud. And I know that I have a bigger responsibility to show up as a Black person, as a Haitian person, as a woman, as so many layers. And I really understand that it's a responsibility. And I hope and wish that everyone showed up for us, not just for them. So, you know, it's important for us to really kind of show people how many layers, how beautiful we are in so many different ways, you know?
I love how you said that it's a responsibility. A lot of times, whether you're on TV or in event planning or whatever, you do sometimes feel like, especially if you're the first, it's enough for me to have to get through it. But your thinking is, you're forward thinking. I know somebody's going to, if I can do this, somebody's going to come after me. Like somebody will be able to help to do it.
For the show, one of the considerations as to the reason why I did it is because I'm like, no, put me in, coach. I'll stand back, so I'll put me in. I knew what I wanted to see on TV, and I wanted it to be very aspiring and very inspirational and very, you know, what is out there that I can do and I can see being done. So I already knew my own success, and I think that when I got the call, it was because they heard of that success, and I was able to say, I got this. Let's go. Let it go. Let's go. It was very important for me to do it. So that was one of the reasons why I actually did it. Because I'm like, I want to see this on TV, not that on TV.
On TV.
And whatever that means, y'all can figure it out. But And so I was like, we're not going to be doing no black and black crime. We're not going to be doing, you know, just the stuff that people love as entertaining. And I'm like, I'm not going to be acting like a fool for people's, you know, entertainment pleasure. I'm going to be me. I'm going to show up as myself, and I'm going to, you know, be an ambassador in a way, just showing up for us because I know I can, you know, and I hope that I am doing a good job, but I'm still authentically me, you know? So, yeah.
And there's a freedom and a liberty in knowing that it's not up to me how I'm perceived when I know I'm showing up authentically. And what I love, there's something about sisterhood to me that warms me. So when people say, I've worked with people and known people in my life, that other women that'll say, I don't do women. And I would always want to say, you can't do what is you. Maybe you are the problem. You can't do what is you. So whenever I see, and not even getting into the show, but if I see you and Kiki off to the side talking, when I tell you, that brings me joy, because that's, you can just communicate through your eyes or, you know, you're hugging, and it's so much communicated in that.
I think that the fans were kind of like, wait, why don't we see more of you and Kiki? And so so that you saw like towards the reunion time, you like were in the same dressing room. So,
I loved it.
Hopefully in the future, you guys will see more of the actual, you know, thing that we have going on, because, you know, there's a lot going on the show. There's a lot of edits, of course. And I feel like our connectivity is not shown as it is yet, but hopefully in the future, you guys will see more of the two of us together and doing a thing.
And I will say, I feel like even though we don't see a lot of it, we can still tell authentic
Oh, yeah.
And when we do see the little bit of it, that's why we want to see more, like, oh my gosh.
It's like she leaves. Okay, let me check on her. Like,
yes.
like I leave, and that's unspoken. And it's just a thing like, I got to do that. And
yes.
I don't know. I mean, I just, again, maybe some people won't understand it and it's okay. But at this point, and I said it on the Carlos show, and I'll say it again, it's kind of like, we have to look after each other in a way because, she came on, with me as a friend to the show, and hopefully she'll be more than just a friend to the show in the future. But because she's got a lot to tell. But like you said, most girls are like, oh, I don't do girls or whatever. Like, I refer to her highly. I'm like, please, I know someone, because I'm like, it's better to have me and her than me or her or something of that nature. So, I don't. When I see that there's someone that could easily fill into a position, I'm getting your hand and holding it and pulling you with me. We're going together, because my path is my path. I'm right here. You're right here. That our paths won't collide. So I just don't ever understand how people see other women as competition. I'm one of 5 girls. I don't understand this whole thing. I don't understand that game. So for me, it's kind of like you and me. Come on, let's go. Like, and that's how we are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Your paths are next to each other. They don't, like you said, they don't have to collide. You coming on is not going to knock me off my path.
If all the mothers would teach their daughters such, and I don't have a daughter, and I would. I
have 2, and I've tried. I have my oldest is 26. Wait,
what? 26? Ma'am, you look like you're 36. What? Okay,
come on, girl. Guerdy, you knew I loved you. Now we locked in for life. My oldest, 26. Oh, actually, she just turned 27. My son is 22, away in college, 4th year in California. And then my youngest, 19, in college, Syracuse University.
Good for you. Wow. Okay.
Yes.
That's crazy.
So I love seeing your family dynamic too. Like as a mom, because I know how as moms, sometimes we can our kids may think we're doing too much sometimes, and we feel like, look, I'm just trying to raise good kids. My girlfriend, when my kids were younger, she gave me some of the best advice. It was basically, I was stressed. Like, am I not being a good enough mom? Am I not being this type of mom? She said, at the end of the day, your job is to not raise little buttholes, because when you raise them, you then loose them on society, and society has to deal with them. Your number one job is to not raise any of them. Anything after that is extra. I said, you know what? You're right.
Yeah, it's true. Absolutely.
So now, you are a standout, clearly, in your job, in your professional, from wedding planning to parties to even on the show. You have to know, Guerdy has been in the mouths of the folks. And sometimes I learned this from someone, whether it's positive or negative, because sometimes when people don't talk about you, or you forget they're the housewife, it's like, oh, you didn't invoke any feeling. So you are in the people's mouths. So do you think, how did you come about developing that? Because you just said you show up, right? You move to Miami, you're wearing dresses, you have 2 pigtails, you don't speak English. People have all these thoughts and different ideals about Haitian people. So you of course you want to fit in at first, right? Because you're 9 years old.
Yeah.
But at what point did you decide that you were going to stand out? Because I do believe whatever it was is what molded you into becoming the standout in your industry.
Yes. Okay. So couldn't speak the language. That's not going to work for me. So I couldn't be socially, inclined to make friends. So it took me a few years. I was separated from my class most of the day because I was in the ESOL class, which is the English speaking, class. So, little by little, and one thing I'm going to say, and I'm thankful for my mom, who was always obsessed with fashion and the whole thing, is that you can't buy class and you cannot buy good taste. So those 2 things really, honestly, I think helped me to kind of like gain momentum and like, okay, wait, I'm not that ugly. Okay, I can do this. I can do that. So in exploring creatively with myself, I started realizing that I'm that girl, so that really helped me to stay true to myself. And then I kept my head down. I decided to say to myself, okay, I can't make friends socially, so let me do the work well. So then, and also play sports. So playing sports, I'm like, okay, you don't need to really communicate to throw a ball. So I'm like, I got creative. Okay. So through sports and really honestly just doing my work so I can really kind of make it to the next grade even, it finally brought me comfort so that I knew that just because I'm separated from them because I don't speak their language, it doesn't make me not equal. So like, separate but equal type of thing is what my mind came to. Like, I'm like, I'm in this class trying to learn your language, but I'm as good and important as you guys. So here comes the head held high. All of a sudden I'm walking different and I'm making friends. And just little by little, next thing you know, honey, senior in the high school, I was prom queen. Thank you very much.
Come on.
I don't even know how I won. To be honest, I was as surprised as everybody else. I couldn't believe I even got nominated. I don't know, but I won prom queen. So that tells you a little bit about it. That by the time you knew it, everybody, knew who Guerdy was. And I was in every single club you can think about. I just put myself in there and see what happens. You never know. And all of a sudden, I was prom queen and I guess popular. So yeah.
You decided to focus. What I love in that, the lesson in that is you decided to focus on yourself and what you could control versus trying to focus on controlling the perceptions around you.
But I tried. Trust me. When I first came into the country, I was like, okay, no, oh my God. I was like, okay, let me stick to this group. So like all of a sudden I have my hair here, bamboo earrings, at least 2 pairs. And I'm in every group to try to see what's going to happen because, I really honestly couldn't find a footing, couldn't find anyone who could relate to me. Because, even my Haitian fellows, like, they were like, why are you speaking like that? And I'm like, well, what are you speaking like? What, you French? You speak French? Oh, you don't know how to speak Creole well? Oh, you think you're better than us? And he's like, oh, no, guys, please, I'm just trying to make it here, okay? Like, it was tough. Everybody judged me for something that I wasn't, and it wasn't the right answer for them. And I'm like, you know what? It's too tiring. I can't please everybody. So yes, I'm going to have this accent. Yes, my English is going to be a little different because guess what? When I learned English, it was literally on a cassette, literally from England English, not from American English. So you're talking about, how do you do? I'm very well, thank you. So I'm not wired and I'm young. So my mind is wired a different way. So some of the jargon and verbiage that I use is not maybe something that you would use, but that doesn't make me different than you or you to judge me for what I am, so it's been hard. It's hard, but I realized that I'm different and I'm okay. It's all good. And
what I like about you being different though, because I also feel like there's two things. There's people wanting to fit in, but then there's a wave of people that want to prove how different they are instead of just being different. So it's like, I'm going to try this thing and say I'm different when really just be who you are and we'll see the differences and hopefully embrace and love the parts of you that society says you shouldn't, you know? So,
I mean, I think that society, I think is getting even worse, especially because you hide behind your computer and become a bot. So like literally like people are like, oh my God, her voice annoys me. Okay. What do you want me to do with it? She's, like, she smiles too much. Oh, her facial expression. Why does she have the facial expression? I'm like, literally, I'm like this every day. Someone's walking to the door. I don't know why. Maybe it's the movies that was teaching me English, and I'm trying to figure out. That was how I was able to understand what was happening in the movie. How about that? So now I'm literally acting like an actor. So put me in acting school. Maybe I'll do just well there.
Well, that's a thought. Also, I was going to say that's a thought because
No.
That's a thought. Maybe who knows?
Listen, if Wakanda is calling for an extra, then I'm ready. I'm ready now. Don't mess with me.
Dora Milaje.
Forever.
You got me up here doing that. I remember when that movie came out.
Yeah.
This is so funny. So I used to go to Giselle Bryant's ex, Jamal Bryant. I used to go to his church, right? Okay. And everything he did there was extra, right? And I remember, yes, we Black, we proud, we love Wakanda. Yeah. And then there was a Sunday when he had the choir up there during the sign. And my husband leaned over and said, he does realize it's not a real place, right?
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, he had and he used to have a litany that you would say, like, I am this, I am that. And when the movie came out, girl, he had Wakanda on the litany. And my husband was like, this is too much. I just had to tell when you
out of control. Listen, you like it, I love it. Okay.
Exactly. Now,
so funny.
I want to get into this. You talked a little bit about it, but I wanted to talk to you. So initially you wanted to be a news anchor and you attended St. Thomas College in Miami studying communication arts, where you were the president of the school TV station. You produced cultural TV shows and interviewing various faces from the university, and you were celebrating diversity. So you get an internship. So you're doing all of this. You're on your way to be a news anchor. And then you get an internship with the alumni office, assisting with fundraising events, i.e. getting to the money. You're offered a full-time position after graduating. It was then that you said you fell in love. And I noticed the wording that you used. You fell in love with the art of planning events. And I love that you use the word art, because according to the Britannica dictionary, the word art means something that is created with imagination and skill, and that is beautiful or that expresses important ideas or feelings. So when did that switch happen in your mind, that you were not just planning, but that they became art to you?
Yes, 100%. I mean, first of all, the switch was very easy because I'm like, I don't like to beg for money. I was like, I hate this whole like, whoa, Mr. Johnson, I think it's time for us to have a new building. Would you like to go? I was like, oh my God. But the fundraiser event to get you there was where my calling was. So for me, and by the way, I can sell water to a well, so I can fundraise if I have to.
Oh, and you're currently selling water, because you had me Googling the waters that you were talking about on Carlos's podcast, but okay.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second. But yeah, so for me, it was kind of like, there's something about it where there's an ending to the madness, right? You have a starting point, you plan, you conceptualize, you do the work to bring it to life. Then it's life, and then the reaction of people for what you did. So you get an immediate gratification, one event at a time. And that's what I loved, is that there was a happy ending, is what I like to say. And the fact that you're looking at yourself like, damn, I did all that. It came all from here. That's why you could take a lot. You could take my beauty. You could take my breasts. You could take whatever you want from me. But you can, like this right here.
Yes.
That's my jam. My mind, my brain, the way I think. It's not, you can't replicate it. And that is, I think, the biggest gift that I have to give to this world, is like the fact that I'm able to really be a chameleon and walk into different spaces, talk to different people, and have the same confidence, energy. You will get the same level of all of me with whoever I am and whatever I do. So, and that's why I choose my friends closely. I choose my projects closely. Everything that I do is not by just luck or whatever. It's all based on what I want around me, so I've been very happy to be able to do events for 22 years, I think over 22 years.
Yes.
And I'm happy. And now I pick my projects. If I want to do it, I'll do it. If I don't want to do it, I don't do it, so.
And that is a luxury.
Yeah.
That is a luxury. Well, you were featured in Brides Magazine in 2023. Look, y'all, for those of y'all that don't see her, she's featured so much, she had to take a minute to think, like, oh yeah, I was in
oh God,
in the Black History.
I'm humble here, girl.
Listen, I love it. Then the article was titled Black History Month, 23 Wedding Pros on Love, Legacy, and the Future. So they talk about celebrating diversity within the culture. So for those of you that don't know, Fisher Island is behind the gates and houses the top 1% of the world. You have said the only way to access the island, Gem, is restricted by ferry, yacht, or helicopter. Yeah. Getting on the clearance list alone is a most coveted honor. What's interesting is the first owner of Fisher Island, when I was doing my research, was Miami's first Black millionaire, D.A. Dorsey, who purchased the island so that Blacks could have a beach of their own. He then sold the land to Carl Fisher, hence Fisher's Island. So here you are.
Yeah. I'm the second Black owner of it.
That's what I was getting ready. See, y'all, she knew where I was going with it. The day you took over a floral studio. You became the second Black business owner on the island. So did you, or do you ever take a minute, because I know you're going to stop and look at how you're paving the way in your industry for Black boys and girls that may not have thought it possible to even get on to Fisher Island? Have you really took a minute to kind of rest in that? You were the second one.
I acknowledged it actually just a few years ago. It's so funny. Like I just go. And then I'm like, wait. And then somebody made me aware of it. And I'm like, oh my God, that's huge. I don't know. But I'm still like head down, keep going, which obviously that's where Russell had to step in last season on the show, obviously, where he's like, you're doing too much. I just can't help it because I just know there's a bigger calling, and I just know that there's bigger, better, faster. That's how I was raised. I'm like, a racehorse in a way, but I'm learning to take care of myself. But yeah, I don't sit in it a lot because I think that the more humble you are and the more focused of like next is to me better than just be like, look at what I did. Give me an award. Like, I'm not like that at all, So I recognize it, but I don't sit in it.
But then I guess it kind of ties back into actually something you said a few minutes ago. It's one thing if you're begging, if you're like how you said you don't like begging for money. So let's say you're fundraising, you may not get that gratification for months down the road. So you have a while to sit in what you're doing, but you get immediate gratification. So you don't have to sit in it, I guess, because you're being right then, boom. So that kind of makes sense why you don't. You're
right.
You saying you just kind of go, like the next thing is the best thing. Do you think, I know you said that your childhood, you were raised to be the best, but is part of that trying to pave way for the people behind you? Or do you think it's how is that fulfilling to you? Like, you know what I mean? Like, is that for you or how?
That's a good question. And I still, there's a backstory to that, which, I haven't really told anyone about, whatever. So like, I don't know. There's a reason I think why I'm like that. And I think Russell always makes me aware of it. And I surprised this side of me where it makes sense why I'm that way.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah, but I think I like it. I do like it. I just realized the only thing that I'm pivoting and reworking is the actual labor that I do to achieve these goals. Because, a great boss is someone who knows how to, like you delegate. And then and I wasn't doing that because I am on top of all this, a perfectionist, crazy girl. So then I had to be in the back of the house. I had to be in the warehouse. And I owned like 3 warehouses back then. So that's the problem. It literally, I think, physically just drained me because I couldn't let it go. I would be home from work, but on the phone, making sure that they took out the flowers for the next day, and I just couldn't let it go. I just couldn't let it go. I was so micromanaging. It was a detriment for me. So now it's not happening. I've learned how to really restructure myself, my business, my way of thinking, so that I'm able to really stay the course of health and balance while things are getting done for me. So, I've changed and shifted altogether. So a better Guerdy's coming to fruition.
I love that you did. I love that you did that. And I know that y'all, Guerdy is a busy woman. She took her time out to be with me today. So I just have 2 more questions if you have time.
You're fine,
or whatever.
You're fine.
Okay.
I love this. Yeah.
Because I could talk to Guerdy all day long. Like, wait a minute, girl, let me get my pen. Say that again.
So cute.
So I wanted to ask you this. We're watching you go through your journey, right? And just to touch on the show a little bit, but not specifics. But when there were arguments happening, you would say to yourself, I have bigger things to deal with. So, when life hits you fast and you're diagnosed with cancer or a loved one is sick, we say, if someone's arguing about something that could or could not be valid, you feel like it's silly. You say, I have bigger things going on. But do you feel when you were going through that, were there things in life, whether it be on the show, arguments with the girls or what have you in life that really, truly did bother you, but you were so programmed to be like, this cancer is worse than that. So I'm not allowed to be upset about that. I have to just focus on this. Or did you allow yourself to, because you find, we'll say, I have this going on. So that's silly, but you may have actual feelings around that thing that you're calling silly. So I guess my question is, were you able to come to a balance where, yes, I could be upset because my friend said X, Y, and Z, but also I'm dealing with this heavy thing?
100%. I mean, listen, I got into the thick of things with all the girls with every single topic, whether it was my topic or someone else's issue. So I did get into it altogether. But when the continuation of the petty, it's got to stop at some point. There's got to be a resolution. So we're talking about a conversation that took place. We thought it was over. It's being brought up again. And it's like, it's a tit for tat thing that just kind of bothers me. And it's kind of like, you're pursuing the bullshit. Like, you want this. So this is where I'm like, guys, enough. And when people have the nerve to say, oh, she's using the cancer and weaponizing
it.
And I'm like, first of all, you will hopefully never have to be in those shoes. And yes, the cancer consumes every single second of those days when I was filming, because I was being diagnosed. I was waiting for a pathology test. I was going in for blood work. I had to get treatment. Whatever the things were happening or about to happen, it was consuming me. So what I try to do is say, oh my God, this is such a good mental getaway to go to this luncheon, to go to this party. Of course. I'm like, please, God, normalize my life again. Please, I want it back the way it was. And hopefully I will see cancer, see you tomorrow. I'll think about it tomorrow. I tried that route because I'm not the person who's a party pooper, because I throw parties and I know how much effort. So do you think I want to come stomping in Marisol's house after I just got a word, I'm getting a second surgery, and say, ta-da, hey guys, I didn't have second surgery. I'm not a Debbie Downer. So my goal was to like normalize and just like shelf it and be normal for the girls, be there for this event and help be a girl's girl. And then when it started getting to the BS, I'm like, okay, wait. Literally, this is BS, and it's about giving perspective. Yes. Not to say don't breathe because I have cancer, so your life is over. No, I was actually trying to do the opposite, and it just never got there. But it's easy for people who don't want to think bigger. They're gonna just throw out I like that word. I've heard it before. Weaponizing. People just throw that word out. And come on, you guys are like really wow, but it doesn't
weaponizing and triggering. Oh,
yeah, you know what I'm doing? I'm not weaponizing cancer. I'm saving lives because of cancer. That's what I'm doing. So sit back.
Come on, girl. Yeah, because you mentioned that women have reached out to you, haven't they, and said that they've gotten their mammograms and all of that because of
600 to date. When we filmed the reunion, it was 300. After the reunion, we're up to over 600 people that didn't want to get it, got a mammogram, ultrasound, was diagnosed.
Wait.
Yes, so this is not women who are just saying, hey, girl, kudos. Those that have 10,000 of like people are saying, thank you for sharing. No, we're talking about people who have written me via DM, email, whatever it is, and said, I did not and was not going to go get tested. I was scared to even get tested. When I saw your journey, I said to myself, I have to get tested. Got tested, were diagnosed as positive. So meaning, yes, you have breast cancer and now are on treatment. So this is life-saving.
600, Guerdy. That has to feel, not that it feels good, but it has to feel good. Your impact is more far-reaching than
1 in 8. 1 in 8 women are going to get breast cancer. 1 in 3 people are going to get cancer of some other nature. You know how many other cancers there are? 1 in 3 of us is going to get a type of cancer. So yeah, I'm saving lives. So what do you want me to do? Go into hiding? Oh, you shouldn't be filming because you have cancer. Oh, now you want to stereotype me and cast me out, shame me because I have cancer? Oh, no, you got the wrong one. We're going to share. We're going to give you the truth. We're going to give you the ugly. We're going to give you all of it. And I think that the story was told to its best ability on screen in the best edited version that you want to, say. Mm-hmm. And you saw a beautiful love story between two people who are very simple people. And we got through it together with the family. We got through it. So in the end, yeah, I don't regret a single thing, and I would do it all over again. And now more than ever, you're going to hear me continue to talk about cancer because now I'm an advocate for the cause. Okay. So
that 600, that really touched, because it could be any one of us, like you said. So, and it, honestly, to be transparent, I've been getting calls from my, advanced radiology. Hey, you've missed your appointment for your, and I keep putting it off saying, I'm going to go. I'm going to go.
Yep.
So I'm going to go.
And I was lucky. I didn't feel any pain. Oh yeah, nothing. I was just going for my annual. I was already being proactive. So I went for my annual and it just happened to be, see more stuff. Come back for an MRI, come back for the ultrasound. And I'm like, oh my God, what's going on this time? But I didn't even have any pain. So when people are like, don't scream, you have cancer. You should sit this one out. That is the most insulting and the most ignorant statement I've ever heard in my life. If anything, I'm not releasing what no longer serves me. If I have a problem, I'm letting you know, because I'm trying to get rid of my stress. And that's also a factor. So I'm like, I was very nice. And I used to be like, you know what? Let me not know. Now I'm going to release. I'm going to unleash what no longer serves me. And that will make me feel much better. So yeah.
I love that. And also people saying the weaponizing the cancer or bringing it up. We can't on one hand say we're tired of, because there are some reality shows and some franchises that you feel like this seems a little scripted. So we say we want reality.
You want reality, but you don't.
Right. Your reality is in your real life. If no cameras were there, you would be having these same conversations, I'm certain. So
you use it as your storyline. I'm like, first of all, if you really look at the first episode at the New Horizons party, I don't mention anything about what I'm going through. It's brought, the BS comes to me, and people are bringing in the whole da 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 da, and I'm kind of like, okay, I'm walking away because I don't want to talk about anything. I'm trying to walk away. I never bought it on until it's like I'm getting cornered. I'm being told not to cry, blah, 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 blah. And it's kind of like, not to cry. You just, like, and then it comes out. And that's how it happened. It was not storyline. It was not scripted. It was not, how do I time when I'm going to say what? I mean, come on.
Exactly. Or when that was going to happen to you and when they were filming. And at the end of the day, it's interesting because going back to, again, sometimes as the viewing audience, we have to see, we'll scream, she's doing it for a storyline. But then you also scream, they're boring. They don't have a storyline. So which one is it? I would rather see someone's reality, period.
And then the taking off of the wig, oh, she shaved her hair. Why didn't she go to the party like that? I'm like, I didn't shave my hair for style and just like, let me shave my head today. Yes, girl, slay. I shaved my head for battle. I was shaving my head to go to battle with cancer. So this was not something that I was like comfortable walking out of my house and going to the party with TV cameras in my face with my hair like that. What I decided for myself is like, okay, I'm going to shave my hair now because it's the right time. And then I said, I don't feel comfortable. Even though Russell's like, you're beautiful. I'm like, I have 25 wigs, and I'm like, let me just put what I know. So it's like a hat. Someone who doesn't wear hats or wear hats all the time, and then all of a sudden you tell them go outside without a hat. So for me, it was kind of like, I can't do it right now. I'm not ready for this, and this is not a vanity contest. So I just put my wig back on because I'm like, let me just like do what's comfortable and let me lay low about it. I was gonna reveal it in a completely different way. I was actually, again, me thinking about others first, said to myself, this is Adriana's event. I'm going to do it at the very end. Like, girls, oh, Adriana, girls, oh, I want to share something with you guys. Look what I did. Like that. Not to have like calculated the moment we're going to say, of course not. It was an outburst again, because I was being pushed to a place where I'm like, what? Like perspective, right? So that's the truth behind the scene. It was not like, let me give them a high rated, scene here. It was more about like, I want to do it on my time, later at the very end, because this is about Adriana. If I walked in with my head shaved, guess what? She's making this event all about her. Girl. I mean, look at you. Damn if you do, damn if you don't, right? Oh, it's Adriana's event, and look what she did. Like now it's all about her. Everyone's around her. So then I'm like, you can't win.
You can't win.
Can't win.
So you just do what feel like you said. You used to be like, no, I'm not going to say anything. Now I'm going to say it in the moment. It is what it is. It happens. And also you shaving your head in that moment in your house with cameras, it's very different than walking into a party where other people are also going to be, haven't seen you. And there are moments I feel like emotionally, just like even if you get a haircut or if you've gained weight or if you've lost weight, there are moments when you feel comfortable and there's moments when you're like, I don't feel comfortable like this.
So imagine me being bombarded with not only the girls, but then also people at the party. It was like literally 100 people at this party. Everyone to be like, why did you shave your head? Because not everyone even knew it. So strangers ask me, why did I shave my head? And then for me to get triggered in the sense where I have to continue to think I'm a walking cancer card. I didn't want that right then. I wasn't ready for it. So but then it got to a point where I didn't get to do it when I wanted it to, and it is what it is. But again, everything happens for a reason, and I don't regret anything. I don't regret anything.
I love that. I feel like I'm gonna fly to Miami and get in your closet. But I'll be like, Guerdy, excuse me, I just need to get this right over here.
Honey, it's a room. It's not even a closet, honey. It's a room. It's a whole room. Okay.
So now, again, I'm going to mention the year again. It's 2024. You look back over your life. You've done so many things. You've owned floor. Actually, I'm going to go back and start somewhere else. Okay. So I have this question that I like to ask my guests. Sometimes you get so caught up in conversation, you forget, but I'm like, I'm not forgetting with Guerdy here. So I'm sure you've heard, what would you tell your younger self, to either whether help you get over hurt, pain, what have you. I understand why people say that. I get it. But for me, I feel like there's nothing I could tell 12-year-old Taria that would change anything for 46-year-old Taria. Right. But what I can do is talk to 50-year-old Taria, the Taria that's 4 years away, and promise that every goal that you've set for yourself, you're going to achieve. And I can congratulate the future Taria on accomplishing. So you, Guerdy, You've earned, you own the floral and event studio on Fisher Island for 7 years. You moved your company to Miami proper. Your list of clients, your demand grew. You have been featured in People, Martha Stewart Weddings, Vogue, Brides, NBC, Harper's Bazaar, and so many more. You've done so many things in life. Now you are a cancer advocate. You have designed isn't the right word, but you've created a water that is beneficial to people's bodies. You have literally helped 600 women. You've done a lot. You own a home, beautiful marriage, your children. If you had to talk to the 2029 Guerdy, what would you be congratulating yourself on doing? Whether it's opening up a nonprofit, whether it's building a house, whether it's grandkids, anything, what would you be? Well, your kids are young, so no, we're going to move grandkids out of the way. What would you be congratulating yourself on achieving, or what is the pact that you're making now with your future self?
It's all about leaving a legacy that matters, and to open up people's minds into the possibilities of what could be. Just, like I always say to myself, and I don't know why I always did that, but I'm like, I want to be the Black Martha Stewart. I want to be the next Martha Stewart. I don't. And that's my thing. It's kind of like, yeah, I want to be a tastemaker. I want people to look to me for like, what's next, Guerdy? And that's why this whole Guerdyfied. I want to Guerdyfy the freaking world. Okay.
I love that.
In every way possible that I know I can back it up and do it. So whatever I do, whatever I touch is because I know I can do it, and it's going to be done in a way that no one's ever seen before. And that's just my pattern in everything I do. And people know it. When they attach themselves to me and my brand, they know it's going to be something different. There's always going to be that twist. There's always going to be that panache that no one else can replicate. And that's what it is. My legacy is very important to me. And whatever I do on screen is whatever I'll do in public, which is whatever I wouldn't do in front of my parents. Okay. So that's very important.
Come on.
So that's it. I'm not tap dancing for anyone for a check, for a rating. I'm not doing it. And that's one thing for sure, is that you will never see me overdo anything to be like, oh, they're watching. So for me, it's like congratulating Guerdy on staying authentic. And with that authenticity, being able to be that girl.
Come on. I love that. Yeah. It's so funny because in my mind, I was like, I'm going to tell her, I promise you on everything. Jesus, so you can ask him. He'll tell you. I was thinking as I was going to say, and congratulate yourself on being authentic. So the fact that you said it, because that to me is one of the most important things we have in life, is our authenticity, because that is how you touch people. So I appreciate you. I appreciate this interview. I know we talk in the DMs and on social media, and I appreciate you being open to coming on and just talking about your life.
Of course.
I love
absolutely. That. I mean, and we've been trying to schedule this forever, but I'm so glad we made it work for sure.
Me too.
It's so nice to speak to you, and I think that your voice is so important. And I've been watching. Trust me, I am in the thick of things. I am very, very into it. So I love what you do, and just keep pushing forward, because you're gonna be that girl, and you are that girl, but you're gonna be the girl up in the podcast world soon. I'm sure. Yeah.
I need to clip this and wake up to it in the morning.
And I still can't believe you have a 26-year-old, a 22-year-old, and a 19-year-old. Full shock dead.
I will be 47 in 7 days.
Wait, I'm 46 and I don't have these damn children. Wait, what?
That's because you were focused. I was in school trying to be focused and then trying to play on the side. And surprise! Hey, mom. Hey, dad. I'm coming home after my second year of college. Oh, and you have a grandchild.
Gotcha. But you know what? You got your degree too, didn't you?
No, that's.
Okay. Well, then when I speak to you in a couple of years, in 20, how many more years? You said 4 years. You owe me that degree. That's a challenge.
What's crazy is you're like the fourth or fifth friend that has said that to me. No, I didn't lump you in. I didn't say friend, but you're like the fourth or fifth friend that has literally said that to me. So, look, you got me sweating. You're supposed to be in the hot seat, not me, Guerdy.
Girl, I got my. Look, you were sweating. I got my fan right here for you, because you got my flash. Here you go.
Oh my God, I love this.
Because I have a feeling that it does matter to you. The way your face was like, damn. So that's your task. That's your mission.
I don't need you coming on my podcast reading me, knowing stuff that. Look, see, now I need to go back to just audio.
I love this.
Yeah. Okay. Y'all, look, Guerdy got me tongue tied. Look, Guerdy has me not knowing what to say, y'all. And I always have something to say.
Yes, I love it.
But I honestly, appreciate you.
I mean, listen, a certificate is a piece of paper at the end of the day, because you're going to shine no matter what. But if it's important to you, get your degree if you want. You
picked up on something. I won't even say what I've been thinking about and praying about and talking to God about within the last.
I'm his messenger. I'm his messenger.
Well, listen, you are the messenger then. You need to make your way like over to the Baltimore area so I can like take you out for a drink or something. Baltimore, DC, you know.
Baltimore has that bridge happening. What's going on?
Do you know, can I tell you something, Guerdy? That is like, I leave out of my house where me and my husband leave out.
Yeah.
I would take that bridge multiple times a week. My husband would take that bridge multiple times a week. The work he does, and he's on call at nights sometimes, so he'll have to go if a hospital calls or if this calls. The bridge is literally right there. And so a good friend of mine, shout out to my girlfriend Amanda, I woke up and I see a text and she's like, I need you to check in. So I'm thinking like, okay, I'm looking at the video and I wake my husband up because I don't know if he's got to go over that bridge like later on that day for a job. And he was like, no, that's not the key bridge. And I'm like, I think it is. And neither of us could go back to sleep. And my heart was just,
it's surreal.
It's surreal. It doesn't. But what scares me is, you know, we talk about structures falling. So, I mean, you've seen the videos. It literally just fell. Last year in May, I'm born and raised in Jersey. So there's a particular bridge that you go over past the Eagles Stadium and all that when you go into Philly.
Yeah.
A truck caught on fire underneath of the Philly bridge last year, melted in the middle. So, or a major road. So in my mind, it's like what is going on? And then when
people are going to have big time PTSD over that what happened, because when you're on that bridge and it's literally you're trusting the structure and, you know, but you got to trust God at the end of the day, I guess.
Come on.
It's a lot. Yeah. That's a lot.
You know, me and my husband both avoided. Yesterday, I couldn't do it. There was a couple of things I had to do, and it would have required me going through the toll, like the tunnel, and I couldn't do it. I was like, I just can't. I just can't. But like you said, I just got to trust God and know that hopefully he has me, and that's all. Yeah. Y'all, I hope that you enjoyed, I'm calling her my Guerdy now, y'all. I hope that you have enjoyed my Guerdy just as much as I have talking to her. I literally feel like we're in the same room, just talking and laughing and kikiing. It feels really good. Y'all, I'm not going to ask Guerdy. Guerdy, let everybody know where they can find you. Y'all know where y'all can find Guerdy. Y'all know where y'all can find her. And I will have all of her information in the description box. One day, I'm going to be able to have Guerdyfy a physical space for me.
I'm studio. That's coming for you. Yes, I will be in your studio for sure. Absolutely.
You see this, y'all. See, she just keeps lifting me. She don't even know. Ooh, the mental week that I've had, I should say. Y'all, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for listening. If you have not already, please like, comment, and subscribe to the visual on YouTube, WEIGO, WEIGO Podcast. That stands for What Else Is Going On, and also to the audio. As always, I love y'all so much. And if you want to have respectful discourse, you know where to find me. Because like Guerdy said earlier, just like that onion, I'm layered, but if you cut too deep, you will cry. I love y'all so much, and we'll talk to y'all later. Bye, y'all.
You're amazing. Wow, girl.